that you like. Gonna give you my heart to break. Angel eyes, tell me lies. Gonna give you my heart to break. One look at you, I'm powerless. I feel my body saying yes. Where's my self-control? And when you touch me, I'm a fool. This game I know I'm gonna lose. Makes me want you more. Even if it means that I'll never put myself back together, gonna give you my heart to break. Even if I end up in shadows, baby, it doesn't matter. Gonna give you my heart to break. I try to fight, but I can't help it. Don't care if this is my worst mistake, 'cause no one else can do it better. That's why I give you my heart to break. Butterflies every time. Gonna give you my heart to break. Devilish every kiss. Gonna give you my heart to break. One look at you, I'm powerless. I feel my body saying yes. Where's my self-control? And when you touch me, I'm a fool. This game I know I'm gonna lose. Makes me want you more. Even if it means that I'll never put myself back together, gonna give you my heart to break. Even if I end up in shadows, baby, it doesn't matter. Gonna give you my heart to break. I try to fight, but I can't help it. Don't care if this is my worst mistake. No, 'cause no one else can do it better. That's why I give you my heart to break. Yeah, one look at you, I'm powerless. I feel my body saying yes. Where's my self-control? And when you touch me, I'm a fool. This game I know I'm gonna lose. Makes me want you more, more, more. Together, gonna give you my heart to break. Even if I end up in shadows, baby, it doesn't matter. Gonna give you my heart to break. I try to fight, but I can't help it. Don't care if this is my worst mistake, 'cause no one else can do it better. That's why I give you my heart to break. I'm alone, only know myself no more. Take it to the grave, I'll ghost. I know I can be so cold. In the dark, where I like to keep my heart. No more bite, no bark. Like to catch you way off guard. I'll stay so deep inside your brain and take you somewhere far away. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm a straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, I treat you like a prize, then I throw you to the side. And am I really that bad? If I love to make you mad and get happy when you're sad, only care about a bad. In control, that's how I like it, and I'm never letting go. No, never had a soul, so you ain't taking nothing from me when you go. No, I stay so deep inside your brain and take you somewhere far away. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm a straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. But I'm dead, you know what's up in your head. Watch it fade full of dread till you go. Bang, bang, you can do anything. No fear, no pain. Listen to your brain. Go stupid, go dumb, go stupid, and then we go insane. Whoa. Just do what I say, follow me all the way. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Life, but I'm dead, hear my voice up in your head. Watch it fill you full of dread till you go. All the other ones never stay too long, just a hit and run, leading me along. Don't tell me you're different, it all sounds the same. Probably shouldn't listen, probably shouldn't stay. The feeling of falling, can't keep bleeding, I'm sorry. Take the blame if you want me, 'cause I hate the feeling of falling in love. The feeling of falling, the feeling of falling in love. The feeling of falling, the feeling of falling in love. Feeling of falling in love. Don't know what to say, at a loss for words. If we walk away, maybe it won't hurt. I can't keep on holding on nothing but air. If we hit the bottom, I don't know what's there. The feeling of falling, can't keep bleeding, I'm sorry. Take the blame if you want me, 'cause I hate the feeling of falling in love. The feeling of falling, the feeling of falling in love. The feeling of falling, the feeling of falling in love. Feeling of falling in love.
Anymore. If you wanna stay, be my one mistake. I don't wanna wait anymore.
If you wanna stay, be my one mistake. I don't wanna wait anymore. If you wanna stay, be my one mistake. I don't wanna wait. The feeling of Oh, I want all my clothes designer. Ooh, I want someone else to buy 'em. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Give me all of your attention. Ooh, give me summer in the Hamptons. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. A little bit of this and that. I take a sip of this and a hit at that. I'ma have everything on the rack. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And if you give me everything I want, baby, maybe you could be the one. We can kick it, we can have some fun. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Baby, don't you fight it. Close your eyes and swipe it. Maybe I could be with you. If you buy me diamonds and you keep me smiling, baby, I can be with you. Oh, I want all my clothes designer. Ooh, I want someone else to buy 'em. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Give me all of your attention. Ooh, give me summer in the Hamptons. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. If you wanna get down tonight, you better hook it up at the place I like. Gotta make it fit like the perfect size. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And if you give me everything I want, you go from none to number one. Yeah, you're so cute, yeah, you're so fine. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Baby, don't you fight it. Close your eyes and swipe it. Maybe I could be with you. If you buy me diamonds and you keep me smiling, baby, I can be with you. Oh, with you. I want all my clothes designer. Ooh, I want someone else to buy 'em. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Give me all of your attention. Ooh, give me summer in the Hamptons. Yeah, if I cannot get it right now, right now, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Ooh, ah. I don't want it at all. Give me summer in the Hamptons. Give me summer in the Hamptons. I don't want it at all. Give me summer in the Hamptons. In the Hamptons. In the Hamptons. I want all my clothes designer. I want someone else to buy 'em. If I cannot get it right now, right now, right now, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Give me all of your attention. Give me summer in the Hamptons, in the Hamptons. If I cannot get it right now, right now, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. Lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Beautiful. Roller coaster ride in the fast lane. Got the roof down, kiss me hard in the rain. You got the candy colored eyes, pink and gold chain. $1,000,000 babe, whip it up like I'm propane. You're on my mind, I'm feeling kinda nervous, but I like it. Take my t-shirt off and do it right. You're on my mind, feeling like an astronaut, watching the world all alone, just you and I. Roller coaster ride in the fast lane. Got the roof down, kiss me hard and now it's pouring rain. Yeah, never stop it. If you want my love, try to unlock it. Roller coaster ride in the fast lane, got the roof down, kiss me hard and now it's pouring rain. Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. Now you feel the same. $1,000,000 babe, tripping on it like propane. Beautiful.
Unlock the swag, great drummer. Make you hit them high notes like you a tenor. Tell a big appetite, girl, you my dinner. I know they can do you, but I can do it better. Bring me out to London, yeah. I can show you something, yeah. Unlock your clothes off, your body give you loving, yeah. Cause that's how we do. We do only need you. Top be see-through. I like the preview. We not the Jacob, but we on the way. We on the surfboard, yeah, we riding waves. Let's get it going, girl, let's underlay. Let's underlay, sip this champagne.
Lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Unlock it, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it. Got the key, can you unlock it? Beautiful. nobody harder. Never ever felt stronger. Thought that we would last forever. Gave me something to believe in.